Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wild Sports Talk. Alongside the Asian Skip Bayless, Isaiah Leong, I'm Loro Antonio. And Isaiah, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Happy opening day, Loro. I know opening day was technically yesterday, but for me, it's today because today is when my Phillies and my A's opened. It's when majority of the MLB teams opened up today. So happy opening day to you. Happy opening day to all the people that are watching this show. And the baseball season, the season which we thought that we would never have. It's officially here. It's upon us. It has begun. And I'm looking forward to an outstanding season. I mean, the games the last couple of days have been just outstanding, top to bottom. And looking forward to all the great storylines, all the dramas, all the great games this season. I mean, we already had a brawl to start on opening day. So, I mean, if the first 2 days are an indication of what's coming, I mean, we are in for an absolute fantastic baseball season.
We are in for a really good baseball season, I'll tell you that. But, anyways, let's get to some news here about. I mean, my Dodgers got to play. I mean, they beat the Colorado Rockies 5-2. Walker Buehler with 5 innings pitched. Craig Kimbrell got the save. No home runs for either side, but the Dodgers found a way to get it done. And then, however, your Oakland A's and Philadelphia Phillies played. Kyle Schwarber was fantastic in his Phillies debut, hitting a monster leadoff home run. And I was kind of surprised he started in left field because I was thinking that Kyle Schwarber would just be your primary DH and have Castellanos out there in left.
Yeah, I mean, it was very interesting. When I heard the lineup that was released this morning, I was kind of interested, in Joe Girardi's rationale as to why he put Castellanos as the DH and Schwarber in left field. Either way, you're going to see those two guys flip flopping back and forth all season long. I think that it's going to be great, and I think that we're going to get more into that game later on. But I think that the biggest takeaway from that game is a couple of things. Number one, that Philadelphia Phillies lineup might be the best lineup in all of baseball. I mean, from top to bottom, you have Schwarber leading off. Real Muto was the second place hitter. Harper was your third. I believe Hoskins was your cleanup hitter. And then you had Castellanos. You had Segura batting seventh. I mean, Segura is a top-notch leadoff hitter, and for him to be batting seventh, that just shows you how deep your lineup really is. And then Bryson Stott. I've been really impressed by him throughout this entire camp. He's your bottom of the order. Matt Vierling, Mickey Moniak are going to be your center fielder. They'll be hitting towards the bottom of the order. That Phillies lineup, 1 through 9, it is loaded, and it's a battle for the pitcher. Every hitter that they face in that starting lineup, you cannot take a break or a breath for any one of these hitters in the lineup. That just shows you how potent this offense is. The pitching is the bigger concern, though, for me. It's the Brad Hand, Familia. They were decent today. They got us out of the inning, but it's that shaky defense as well. I mean, Bryson Stott, there was a play where a slow ground ball hit right to him at third base. And I don't think he had a chance to get Tony Kemp, but I mean, he's a rookie, which makes sense why he did it. But he gets the ball, bare hands it, fires it to try to beat Tony Kemp, and he fires it into the dugout, and a run scores for the Oakland A's. So I think there were a lot of things the Phillies could improve on, but man, that lineup is scary. And I think the Phillies, I would not be shocked at all if by the end of the season, the Philadelphia Phillies are the best offensive team in baseball, and they are leading the league in the home runs and runs scored, especially with that ballpark and with that lineup. I mean, it's freaking crazy. And as far as the A's are concerned, I don't think we had much optimism going into the A's season, but that bullpen is awful. Man, that bullpen is awful. We kind of knew that going in that it would be a bunch of nobodies and Lou Trevino, and it's awful, man. There's really no established guys. It's a bunch of rookies that are making their debuts today. It was like a spring training game, and Oakland, it's going to be a long year for them, unfortunately.
It is going to be a long year for the A's, that's for sure. And it's definitely a rebuild year and all that, like you were saying. But anyways, there was a brawl today in the Mets and Nats game, which benches cleared after Francisco Lindor beamed by Steven Cishek fastball to the C-flap of his helmet as he squared to bunt, and Steve Cishek was ejected. That I didn't see the whole video, but from what I gathered and heard, that was a crazy brawl, though.
What a way to start the season, huh? I mean, having a brawl on opening night or opening day to start the season, it's just an indication that this baseball season is going to be one of the best baseball seasons that we've had in a very, very long time. You talk about this brawl. I get why the Mets were upset because in last night's game, the Mets had two players drilled by Nationals pitching. Was it intentional? You'll have to ask the Nationals players. But I get why the Mets were upset, and then to see two more guys drilled today, and to see Lindor getting drilled right on the head, that is scary. You never want to see that happen. Anywhere in the game of baseball. I don't think it was intentional that Cishek tried to hit Lindor in the head. I thought that when he wind up, you could clearly tell that the ball just slipped out of his hands, and unfortunately, it went high and tight, and it hit Lindor right smack on the head. I was so glad that Lindor was wearing that C-flap helmet to protect his face, because if he wasn't wearing that, and if MLB had not put that in for players to have the option to wear after the whole thing where Giancarlo Stanton got hit in the face, then Lindor would have had at least multiple broken bones in his face. That flap right there by his cheek area is what saved Francisco Lindor from having a concussion, from having to go through brain surgery, emergency brain surgery. It saved Lindor from something very, very severe. So he should be very glad that Rob Manfred and MLB put that in. But, it's going to be really interesting to see what unravels out of this, because, the Nationals and the Mets are heated rivals. Buck Showalter was chirping, which I saw, and I loved his fire. And Dave Martinez was chirping back. It was just a battle, and it's going to be so much fun when these two teams go at each other, because now you see there is bad blood between these two teams with the whole Lindor thing. Who knows? There might be something that happens like with the Red Sox and Orioles, where every time they met up, it seemed like they were going to a fight, or they were fighting. So Lindor's lucky. Lindor's lucky that he did not sustain more severe injuries than what he did. And I'm like, I know you're not supposed to be stoked to see a brawl, but what a great way to kick off the 2022 MLB season. And I cannot wait to see the Nationals and the Mets go at it a bunch more times throughout this season.
You're right about that. But anyways, Ben Curse is saying, what's up, guys? Great Red Sox-Yankees game. Sucks we're on the losing end. He also says that our pitching is going to be tested, especially the bullpen. And our season will be good, but it's going to be very hard. And from the MI6 Sports Network, Isaiah, you're being watched from your fellow Padre fan, Callan.
Callan, what's up, man?
Hopefully he doesn't come on and roast you.
Don't be roasting me about me jinxing my boy Mickey Moniak after what happened the other day.
Disappointed Aaron Judge turned down the Yankees' $213.5 million extension. And did the Yankees lowball Judge? And who wants to be a Yankee? Who wants to be a Yankee for life? I still think Aaron Judge will be a Yankee for life, but it's going to come down to the price here. I mean, he wasn't going to really accept that low ball type offer for 7 years. I think he wanted more than that, Isaiah.
If you're Aaron Judge, you would be an absolute fool to accept that deal. Because what was the deal? Like a 10-year? No, I don't think it was a 10-year. I think it was 8 years, like $213 something million deal. If Aaron Judge plays up to his potential, and if he stays healthy, and if he is a major contributor, I think Aaron Judge could get at least 350 to 400 million because he's a tremendous baseball player, and we've seen what a healthy Aaron Judge can bring to the table. So if I'm Aaron Judge, I am betting on myself. I think it's very smart for Aaron Judge to bet on himself because you're in a contract here. It's up to you to perform. If you don't perform, well, then you're not going to get anywhere close to that 8-year, $213 million deal that the New York Yankees reportedly offer you today. I like what Judge did. I think that Judge made the right decision. I think, however, that the Yankees made the wrong decision because Aaron Judge is a franchise player. He's a guy that is a superstar in this league, and you have to at least give him close to what Bryce Harper got because he's that type of a player. Is he durable? No, but he's puts up numbers. He's a tremendous defensive outfielder, and he's a guy that is box office. So I think the Yankees made the wrong move by not putting at least a $300 million deal on the table. I think that they did lowball Judge, and I would not be shocked if Judge leaves the Yankees after this season because a lot of people, when they get lowballed at the beginning of the season, they hold those feelings against those teams and they end up leaving because of that. I've seen so many things like that happen. I mean, look at Freddie Freeman. The Braves reportedly lowballed him. He held that against the Braves and he left for the Dodgers. So the Yankees did lowball him. They should be ashamed of themselves for lowballing him. Like, the Yankees are one of the most prominent organizations in all of baseball, and you have the money. And Hal Steinbrenner is just being super cheap right now. And if you lose Aaron Judge, good luck staying in contention.
Or I think Aaron Judge will remain a Yankee, but if he leaves, then shame on Hal Steinbrenner. And I think that and look out for the Giants to be in consideration to get Aaron Judge next year.
Open your pocketbooks, Hal Steinbrenner. This is why the Yankees have not won anything since 2009. It's because Hal Steinbrenner, for some reason, is super cheap and only spends money on Garrett Cole, and that's it. He wouldn't spend money on anybody else, even Aaron Judge, or even he could have gotten Trevor Story, or he could have gotten Carlos Correa over Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, but he opted to get Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who's not bad, but Story would have helped the Yankees, or Correa, or Seager. They would have helped the Yankees take that next level and actually truly be contenders. So it's just Steinbrenner being cheap yet again.
He is being cheap yet again. You're totally right about that. But anyways, Javier Baez hit a walk-off home run as the Tigers defeated the Chicago White Sox today. And my thoughts on this was the Tigers, like you said, Isaiah, I knew that they were your pick to win the American League Central because, look, A.J. Hinch has done a really good job, and so far so good for the Detroit Tigers.
I watched this game today, and there's a lot of controversy. I know some people are going to say, Baez, he didn't deserve that walk-off because the outfielder caught the ball. But if you watch it, you could clearly see that the ball hit that wall. It hit the wall. It hit the wall. It bounced once into the outfielder's mitt, and then it bounces out, and he dives and makes the catch. You could clearly tell that it hit the wall. So I really don't think that it was controversial. If you look at the replay, that ball hit the wall. Detroit won that game, and Chicago choked it. Liam Hendriks gave that one up. And I really don't see any controversy there. You could argue, oh, it hit the wall, but he caught it. Yeah, he caught it, but it hit the wall first. He didn't catch it before it hit the wall. That's part of the ruse. If the ball hits the wall before the guy catches it, it's a double. So that's what happened. Baez, great win for the Detroit Tigers. I think that Detroit, I'm telling you guys right now, Detroit is going to surprise a lot of people this season because they have young talent with Torkelson. They have young pitching. A.J. Hinch is fantastic when it comes to managing young players. And I just think that, I just think there's something about this Detroit Tigers team that just reminds me a lot to the 2016-2015 Houston or the 2015 Houston Astros when they were coming up. And they shocked everybody by winning the AL West. And that division, Chicago has known to choke. Chicago is known to choke in the past. Their guys are getting injured left and right. Cleveland, I don't really buy them. Minnesota, I don't know what Minnesota is doing because it seems like every time they take one step up to contend, they take another step back to go back to mediocrity. I mean, they trade their closer. Why? Why would you trade Rogers for Paddock, who had a 5-point-something ERA last season? It makes no sense whatsoever. So watch out for Detroit. I think Detroit will make a lot of noise this season in the AL Central. But as far as this game is concerned, Baez, the ball hit the wall, guys. Come on, man. The ball hit the wall. Like I get he caught it, but come on. The ball hit the wall. There's no it was close. I get that, but the ball hit the wall. And you can't tell me that the ball hits the wall, bounces into the guy's mitt, he bobbles it, and then he still manages to catch it. It's great play, but it doesn't count, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then Nathaniel also said, "I can't believe we blew a 6-0 lead."
What a game for the Texas Rangers and Blue Jays, man!
That was a great game. I was kind of thinking that if you looked at it, I thought Jose Barrios was going to come in and just shut the Rangers down because of how good of a pitcher he is.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, Laurel, but these are the games. Opening day is always very tricky because, you're always in for surprises since it wasn't a regular spring training. It was a season, or it was the pitchers didn't have much time, and it's opening day. And opening day, there's always surprises. So I'm not surprised I'm surprised that the game was like that. Like it was like the Rangers blew a 6-0 lead. The Blue Jays came back. It was like 9-8 or something like that. But it was one of the crazier games of today. And I honestly think that, both of these two teams, the Rangers and the Blue Jays, they'll be fine. The Rangers, I have them personally winning the AL West. I think the Texas Rangers are going to shock a lot of people just like Detroit. I really think that when you look at it right now, in that division, I like the Astros, but I think this is the year of the Astros' downfall. The Mariners, they always choke. I don't like that. And Texas, I think Texas is going to shock people. I'm telling you that right now. Texas, young pitching. I like what Chris Woodward is doing. They got the talent with Seager and Semien and Garver, which was a very underrated addition. That's added to the fold. I think Texas is going to win, but man, what a bad start to the season though for the Texas Rangers, blowing that 6-0 lead. From what I've gathered, they need bullpen help. That's what the Texas Rangers need. They can't just rely on a lot of young players to shut down the opposing team in the later innings. You got to get some experience in that bullpen.
You do. You're absolutely right about that. But anyways, J.P. Crawford and the Mariners agreed on a 5-year extension. I think that J.P. Crawford is a really good piece for the Seattle Mariners when it comes to their middle infield.
I thought it was a very necessary move by the Seattle Mariners because J.P. Crawford is a shifty defender. He's really talented as a defender, and I'll give him credit. This guy has really, really improved as a hitter. The last couple of seasons, and I've been really impressed with the improvement and the maturity of him as an offensive player this season. I did not think that he was going to be that good of an offensive player. I thought that he was just going to be one of those guys that was a tremendous defender but couldn't hit. I thought he was going to be, the second coming of Freddie Galvis. And when I look at Freddie JP Crawford, he deserves that contract. He's definitely a building block moving forward for the Seattle Mariners. And they made the smart move by investing in him, and I think it's definitely going to pay off in the long run.
Definitely is going to be paid off in the long run here, that's for sure. But when let's talk about my Dodgers here for a minute. I mean, started out 2-0. I mean, trailing 2-0 to Colorado, and then a 5-run inning in one of in the middle innings here. But the Dodgers, however, Walker Buehler with 5 good innings, and the bullpen did its job. Isaiah, you're on mute. So we are dealing with him here. So he's having tech issues. So we were just talking about the Dodgers here, and we're going to get Isaiah's thoughts on it in just a little bit. So the Dodgers, however, they started out trailing 2-0, but they ended up winning 5-2. And Justin Bosman made a point here about Chris Bryant, and he did do good. And you're absolutely, he absolutely played well. But I also think that if you look at the Dodgers here, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what Tony Gonsolin can do. And then on Sunday, when I give you my report on the Dodgers in that series against Colorado, then I'll tell you what I saw was good, what we could improve on heading into the Minnesota Twins series. That is something we will do here. So anyways, let's talk a little football now. So Tyrann Mathieu is heartbroken over leaving the Chiefs after 3 seasons in Kansas City. I feel like that he should have stayed in Kansas City, but Isaiah, let me tell you, I think that Tyrann Mathieu will be a Saint? I don't think he would go there, but it's just hard to tell where he goes at this point.
I don't think he'll be a Saint. I don't think so, because they don't have the money. I think if he's going to go to a team, I'm trying to think of the teams that have cap space, that need safety help. And you know what? Why not? If I'm Tyrann Mathieu, it depends what he wants. You want a Super Bowl already? Do you want to keep winning? Or do you want to chase that last payday? If he wants to chase that last payday and go to an up-and-coming team, go to Jacksonville. Why not? They need safety help. They need secondary help badly. They're probably going to get Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. They have improved the offensive line under Trevor Lawrence. Coaching staff is so much better. I think that would be a tremendous situation for Tyrann Mathieu, and he can be that leader in that young secondary. And I think it would definitely benefit Jacksonville and also benefit him as well. But if he wants to win, he's going to have to take a pay cut, because nobody's going to pay him top-notch safety money, because just the contenders just don't have the cash. They don't have any more money to pay him like $20 million a year. So I think if he wants to win, then I could see Philadelphia also being a team interested, because they need to fix that defense. They need that back end of that defense. They need to fix that. Other teams that I can think of for Mathieu, Minnesota could be one, just because they also lost a lot of pieces in that secondary. I know they got back Peterson, but Peterson, he's getting up there in age. So why not have a ball hawking safety in Mathieu to take care of some of the stuff in the back end? And I'm trying to think of another team that needs like safety or corner help. How about the Raiders? The Raiders have, money to spend. I know they got Devontae Adams, so they're obviously trying to win right now. They need to fix that defense, and I think Mathieu would be a definite boost for that defense.
Definitely will be. You're absolutely right about that, Isaiah. I could see where you're going with it here. But anyways, I think Tyrann Mathieu, if the Saints have the money, I could still see him going to the Saints. But anyways, let's talk about Dallas Mavericks star Luka Doncic getting his 16th technical foul of the season, and he is subject to a 1-game suspension. And if it was for a back call, then he can have the right to appeal this, Isaiah.
My thoughts on this is that Luka is like Draymond Green. He needs to get his act together. And yes, you could. I know he's an emotional player, and he always whines. It seems like every time I watch him play, his reaction is like, or like that's literally his reaction every time I watch him playing. I mean, this dude does so much complaining for being a young player. You expect LeBron to do that. You expect, all these vets to do that, Kevin Durant. But Luka Doncic has only been in the league for like 4 seasons. And for some reason, he feels that he has the entitlement to just complain. And George D., shout out to you for tuning in. This show is about everything sports related, MLB, NBA, NFL. If you got any questions for us, feel free to toss it in the comment section, and we'll definitely talk about whatever questions, comments, and that you have. We'll read your comments live on air. But Luka just has too much entitlement. I feel like he's spoiled. The Mavericks treat him like he's the king of their organization, and rightfully so. But Luka's not won a playoff series. Luka hasn't gotten out of the first round. Why is he always complaining? Why does he always feel the need to complain all the time? I just don't get it. If you go to the conference finals, then fine, you can complain. But this is why Luka's gonna eventually, and I'm telling you right now, he's gonna cost the Dallas Mavericks a lot, or he's going to cost the Dallas Mavericks big time one of these days, because he's going to be like Draymond Green. He's going to bitch about and excuse my language, but he's going to whine about a call, and guess what? He's going to whine about a call, and what ends up going to happen is that he's going to get a technical foul, get suspended for a playoff game. Mavericks going to lose that playoff game, and they're going to get eliminated. Simple as that. So he's got to stop whining and complaining. He has to stop. You have to stop. You have to stop doing that, because you don't want to cost your team. Stop being selfish, man. Think about the other players. Think about the Dinwindys. Think about the players on your team that are there. They give you all out effort, and you're the star. If Luka doesn't play, the Mavericks are done. So I just think that Luka, he's got to get his act together. He's got to get more mature, or one of these days he's going to cost Dallas big time, and Dallas is going to lose a playoff game or get eliminated because Luka got suspended for a playoff game because he was whining to the officials.
He definitely is. You're absolutely right about that. But we have comments coming up here. Callan McClurg also says, how about them A's, baby? Anything to say about that?
How about those Phillies, though? The Phillies are back, and Mickey Moniak's not even playing yet.
Yeah, I think Mickey Moniak will come on, but I'm hoping that we don't get to see Callan on here to roast you.
Callan, Ishmael. I mean, Ishmael had another comment on one of our shows that he said that Mickey Moniak should sue me because I jinxed him by picking him to win Rookie of the Year, and he got hurt right after I said that. So I'm not gonna speak about Mickey Moniak because I like him too much to keep jinxing him. But I wish him nothing but the best. And Callan, the Phillies are not back with Isaiah. Look at that lineup, Callan, from Schwarber, Hoskins, Castellanos, Harper. I mean, look at all these great players that the Phils have. Woo!
And then George D wants to know this, this question's for me. Bellinger needs to produce big time this year. Dodgers back end of the rotation. I'll tell you what, George. I think Cody Bellinger had a slow start to this game. I mean, I am confident that he is going to produce big time this year, despite him going through a slump here. But the Dodgers back end of the rotation, could it be a concern? We'll see. But I feel like so far so good for the Dodgers here, and I think that we could see I think that with Tony Gonsolin starting tomorrow, maybe we could see. Maybe we'll see. Maybe just maybe that we'll see if Gonsolin can be the man here. Can win the game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing what he could do. But when he's healthy, Tony Gonsolin's really good. So, anyways, now Matisse Thybulle is ruled ineligible to play for a game in Toronto, as Thybulle said he's not said publicly whether he's vaccinated against COVID-19. I mean, you need to lessen the comments on these vaccine stuff, because I mean, if you talk about the vaccine as an NBA player, the chances of playing in like areas that are strict, it's going to cost you big time.
I think that Matisse Thybulle should tell the truth about whether or not he's vaccinated, because his vaccination status, he might think that it just affects him, but it affects other people as well. Because what if he's not vaccinated and like you said, he can't play? That's going to hurt his team. What if he's not vaccinated and somehow, some way, he catches COVID, he interacts with his teammates, and then soon enough, the Sixers have a COVID-19 outbreak in their locker room, and it's going to hurt them in the playoffs. So I think Matisse Thybulle needs to come forward. He needs to come clean on his vaccination status. Nobody's going to judge you, man. If you're not vaccinated or not, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to laugh at you if you're not. You know, I got the vaccine in late August when it came, and I waited 8 months to get that vaccine. And guess what? Did anybody laugh at me for getting it late? No. It's my own decision. And, if he's not vaccinated, if he's vaccinated, just tell the truth, man. We all just want you to tell the truth. Nobody's going to judge you about your being vaccinated or not, because it doesn't just affect you. It affects the team as well. And this is the problem I have with these players in the NBA always just think about, oh, it's myself. Like, look at Luka. We just talked about Luka. Complaining. Think, oh yeah, I'm gonna complain because I need to vent my feelings out. Yeah, you end up hurting your team. Same thing with Matisse Thybulle. Come clean and be honest.
You're right. You have to come clean and you have to be honest here. Anyways, we'll talk about Suns Jazz in a minute here. This next comment comes from one of our top fans, Justin Bosman, and he says, Isaiah, Phillies World Series this year?
I could see it, but they need to improve that bullpen. I think their rotation is underrated. I think the lineup is scary good. Might be the best lineup in MLB history. But it's that bullpen. That bullpen is going to be the Phillies' Achilles heel. And yeah, you have Brad Hand, you have Familia. But when you look at that bullpen right now for the Philadelphia Phillies, you need that experienced closer. I like Knebel. I thought Knebel was terrific today, but I don't know how much Knebel could hold up this season. So you need that established closer.
Yes, you definitely need that established closer. You're absolutely right about that. And then anyways, Nathaniel McWhirter also wants to know, Isaiah Leong says he said he knows that the Rangers will win the division.
Hey, I picked them to win the division. I said that I think Texas, with all the moves that they made, with all the young players that they have, I think they can shock a lot of people, just like Detroit. Detroit went out, got biased to complement their young core. This is a young man's game now in Major League Baseball. And when you look at that division, let's face it, Oakland's going to be garbage. The Astros, I don't trust their pitching staff. I do not trust their starting rotation. I do not trust their bullpen. They have that lineup, but they can't pitch. Seattle, they choke too much for my liking. Until they make the playoffs, I can't bet on them. And then you look at the Texas Rangers. It's their year. I think this is Texas's year to win the AL West.
It might be the year for the Rangers, that's for sure. But anyways, with that being said here, anyways, we'll talk more baseball and go back to our comments in just a minute here. We'll talk about the Lakers here as they took on the Utah Jazz. Good way to finish their home schedule before they go on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. This team has nothing to play for, Isaiah. But the thing is, from what I heard, that Frank Vogel is out expectedly, but Kurt Rambis and Rob Pelinka are staying in the front office.
Someone give me a bag. I just want to throw up right now because the fact that we still have to talk about this organization is just mind-blowing to me. You know, the Los Angeles Lakers, I'd rather talk about Suns Jazz than just talk about this game. You know, yeah, they won, but it's against Oklahoma City, and it's too late. It's really too late for you to do anything. It's meaningless victory. I'm looking forward to the changes that they're going to undergo starting Monday. I expect Vogel to be gone. I hope Pelinka's gone. And Laurel, I'm going to throw out a very, very wild idea. And this is something I've been clamoring for. What the Lakers should do, how you should fix the Lakers is this. The Lakers should clean house. Pelinka's got to be out. Rambis, he's got to be out. He has no business whatsoever being in the front office. And what LA needs to do is, I'm going to say this right now, LeBron James is a free agent after next season. Westbrook's a free agent after next season. There's a whole bunch of guys that are probably not even going to be on the team either next season or after next season. So you basically have 1 year to win it. The Los Angeles Lakers should hire Mike Krzyzewski as their new head coach. Give him all the power whatsoever. Coaching, throw him a $15 million per year deal. Give him a I'm going to say that right now. I want Mike Krzyzewski. I know he's retired, but money talks. And this is the end. I want Coach K to not only be the coach of the Lakers, but I want him to be the president of the Lakers because I think you got to invest all your assets, throw all it in on next season. I think the Lakers go get Krzyzewski. LeBron would respect him. LeBron would listen to him. If Coach K yells at him, LeBron would respect that. All the superstars, they would respect him. And, you know, Coach K can hire his staff. It's been proven. He knows how to run. You know, he knows how to identify good talent, whether it's young talent or whether it's, you know, veterans. It's a perfect mix. He can connect with veterans. He can connect with young players. He can develop young players too, which is something that LA didn't really do a good job of this season, is developing young players. If I'm Jeannie Buss, the first thing I do Monday morning after the season ends is fire Frank Vogel, fire Rob Pelinka, fire Rambis, clean house, and then offer Coach K. I know he's 75 years old. I would offer Coach K a $15 million per year contract and name him head coach and president of basketball operations. You go at it. You go full in on this season. I know Coach K probably doesn't want to coach anymore. Give him 1 year with LeBron, with this team, and then he can move up to the front office and then call it a day.
I could see where you're going with this, Isaiah. I'll tell you. I think if you look at it, Isaiah, let's take a look at our comments here. So George D also says, trade LeBron, hire Quinn Snyder, and build around Anthony Davis. You know, George, I think that LeBron will stay a Laker. I think AD will stay a Laker. Would you give Russell Westbrook one more shot? I would. But could Quinn Snyder coach this team if he was hired, though?
I wouldn't give Westbrook one more shot because here's why. Because of the damning article that I read today from the LA Times. And one of the quotes that was in the LA Times that was so damning today was reportedly, when Vogel told him, hey, anybody on this team, if you get the rebound, push it. We have Reeves, we have Monk, we have Taylor Horton Tucker, we have all these guys. And Westbrook literally went to Vogel. He went to Vogel and he said, no, coach, what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to give me the ball because I'm the point guard of this team and everybody move out of the way. Like, this is the problem with this team. It's that ego. This is why I don't want Westbrook to be back. It's because Westbrook has such a big ego that, if LeBron gets the ball, LeBron has to pass it to me. Come on, man. You got to do what's best for the team. And that quote right there just symbolizes what's wrong with the Lakers. Everybody was so selfish this year. Really, Westbrook, everybody passes it to you, and then you initiate the offense because you're the point guard, and everybody moves out of the way and just stand in the corner. That's pathetic, man. You should be ashamed of yourself, Russell Westbrook. You absolutely should be ashamed of yourself. This is exactly why Kevin Durant left you. This is why everybody left you. It's because of stuff like this.
You got a good point there, and with that being said, here, let's talk about Suns and Jazz. I mean, I didn't see this game, but Isaiah, what's your thoughts on that game?
I continue to be impressed by the Phoenix Suns day in and day out. This team is just tremendous. I don't think Devin Booker played today, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that – I'm trying to think. I don't think Paul even played. And for them to come back down 17 against the Jazz and win this basketball game is truly remarkable. It's truly remarkable, and having to do with Cameron Payne and also do it with the guys that they have that aren't Booker, that aren't Chris Paul. So I was really impressed by the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are no doubt the best team right now in the NBA. The Jazz, Laurel, I'm worried about the Jazz because the Jazz, for some reason, have been faltering this season against the good teams. Against the bad teams, they are tremendous. But against the bad teams, or against the good teams, they just are not up to the task. And now there is rumors that you read from the newspapers that Gobert and Mitchell are having beef again. And who knows what's going to happen with that. Quinn Snyder reportedly he might want out after the season. It's just a lot of turmoil right now in Utah, and there's not really that much harmony and chemistry with the Utah Jazz. And I think the Jazz, it might be time to get rid of Quinn Snyder because he's been there a while. It's kind of the same thing with Terry Stotts where the relationship has just run its course. And I think the Jazz would honestly be better off with a new voice in that locker room and with some new ideas.
I could see where you're going with this, Isaiah. I could see where you're going with this here, but maybe if Quinn Snyder's fired, then I think the Lakers could be a potential destination for him. So, anyways, the Miami Heat defeated the Atlanta Hawks 113-109. And what is your takeaways on that game?
I think the Miami Heat are the best team right now in the Eastern Conference. I think that I would not be shocked if we see a Heat Suns NBA Finals this year. I think Miami's just that good. Adding Lowry was a tremendous addition. Their defense is always what it's been, but it's been Tyler Hero stepping up big off the bench. It's been Lowry providing the scoring, Butler doing his thing. And this Heat team, they're always gritty. They're always, they have so much fight in them. But this year, they actually have the three-point shooting. They got the scoring now with Hero and with Robinson stepping up, and with Lowry, PJ Tucker. He's knocking down those corner threes. Miami's the best team in the Eastern Conference. There's no doubt about it. And I think Justin Celtics might have something to say about that. Other teams, they might have something to say about it, but I think the Heat right now are the best team in the Eastern Conference. And I think Miami, I would be shocked if Miami doesn't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
They should make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I could also see them making it to the finals. And if they make it to the finals, I think they might lose to Phoenix in 7.
They could. Phoenix obviously is the better offensive team than Miami, but Miami suffocates people with their defense. And I think that right now, when you look at the matchup, it would be Chris Paul versus Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is a terrific defender. I think he could lock down Chris Paul. Devin Booker versus Jimmy Butler. Butler's gonna get really physical with Booker, and he's gonna lock him down. So it's gonna be up to the other guys to stop or to get buckets, and that's gonna be a really fascinating series in my opinion.
That might be a fascinating series. You're totally right about that. But anyways, folks, now let's talk about the thoughts on the Nets defeating the Cavs 118-107, Isaiah.
Laurel, you know how I said that the Cavs well, first of all, let me say this. John O'Corn, I don't know if you're watching, but John, the reason why your Cavs are struggling, it's because of me. Your Cleveland Cavaliers, who were, I believe they were third at one point, February, and I said, "Oh, John, the Cleveland Cavaliers, your Cavs are looking so good. They're definitely going to make the playoffs." And the Cavs have slipped 3 all the way to 7, and now they probably have to play the Nets in round 1 or in the play-in tournament. The Cleveland Cavaliers desperately needs Colin Sexton back. And I know he's, has that torn meniscus, but rehab is going well. But Darius Garland is, I think, struggling right now. I think he's on the wall. He doesn't have that other scorer next to him. The other guys, Mobley's injured. The Cavs have just been bitten so bad by the injury bug, and they need to get Colin Sexton back because you need that other guy that can take that pressure away from Darius Garland. And I think that if Sexton does come back for the playoffs, who knows if he does, but if he does, then I think the Cavs will be back to that scary team that we saw in the first half. But I still think Cleveland will make the play-in. I had them making the play-in, remember that? I had them making the play-in, I think. But, it sucks because I really wanted to see the Cavs in the playoffs, and they've just been bitten by the injury bug. They're a young team. They're learning how to win now, and these are the bumps that you go through.
You're right. I mean, these are bumps and adversities that you have to go through for a winning team like this. But anyways, Isaiah, what else? Who do you think should people watch out for in the NBA playoffs next weekend?
Wow. I'm going to not take the obvious answers because, they're obvious, like the Phoenix Suns of the world or the Miami Heat. I'm going to go with like an underrated team that I think could do damage. And I think from the East or from the West, Laurel, this might be a surprise, but I got 2 teams. The Denver Nuggets, because the Denver Nuggets got the size, they play fast, they're a tremendous defensive ball club. Plus, the Denver Nuggets are excellent at ball movement, and they can match up with anybody on any given night and take them down. I think Denver, being the 6th seed, I think they could shock a lot of people. I would not be shocked, especially with Steph Curry being hurt. Thompson's been kind of inconsistent. Jordan Poole has, stepped up, but the other guys have been, inconsistent, especially down the stretch. I would not be shocked if the Denver Nuggets shock Golden State. I really wouldn't, because Golden State does not have that size to match up with Denver, and Jokic is going to dominate in that series. Jokic is, I think he's going to have at least 40 points a game in that series because Golden State doesn't have a competent big to put on Nikola Jokic, and I just think that if Jokic is dominating, if you double or triple team Jokic, Denver's got weapons on the outside to kill you. And I just don't think that with Golden State, with them being inconsistent, I just don't trust the Warriors here at this point in time. And the other team in the West that I have,
Warriors.
watch out for New Orleans. Watch out for them. You know, they're playing good basketball without Zion. They've got their chemistry now. They're hitting their stride at the right moment. And I'm not saying they're going to pull an upset, but I think that they can make it tough on a Phoenix, or they can make it tough on a Memphis in the first round. And for the East, oh man, for the East, Boston is one of them because they're a tremendous suffocating defensive
Celtics,
team.
let's go.
Yeah, and I know Justin's happy about that. You know, the Celtics are one, and Philadelphia, because I think
Philadelphia's one.
Yeah, so Isaiah fell off here. So who do you think is a team to watch here in the NBA Finals? In the NBA playoffs, I meant.
To make a run, you mean?
Yeah, to make a run here.
I think Philadelphia's one. Celtics obviously are one because of right now they're the 3 seed right now, so they can make a run because they're going to be playing the Bulls right now as it stands. So I can see them making a run. Like they would have to play either the Bucks or the Nets in the second round semis. That would be a good matchup, the Bucks versus the Nets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might be. And Isaiah just is coming back. We'll get him on here shortly. So, Isaiah, since we got you back here, what else were you saying about which team to watch out for in the NBA playoffs?
the last team I was going to say is Philly, because I know Harden's struggling, but I love that duo with Harden and Embiid. That pick and roll duo is nasty. It's unstoppable, and then you can kick it out to Tyrese Maxey. You can kick it out to Danny Green. You can kick it out to any of the 3-point shooters that they have. And if you stay with Embiid, Embiid's going to dominate. But if you put the attention on Embiid, you got Harden. So that's a dynamic duel that is really hard to stop. So watch out for Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia will make it to at least Eastern Conference Finals this season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But anyways, Justin, what about you? I mean, give us your take on on your baseball hot takes. Drop us a hot take for baseball.
My hot take for baseball?
Yeah.
Is the Phillies can make a run to the World Series. And my other one is I think my MVP candidate this year is gonna be Bryce Harper again.
What do you think about that, Isaiah, about what Justin said about Bryce Harper being MVP again?
I think it's a great pick. But for me, I got Freddie Freeman, just because I think Freddie Freeman, there's too much guys in front of him that get on base a lot, and he's going to have lots of opportunities to drive in a lot of runs. So I would not be shocked if Freeman ends up with at least 120 RBIs. That's how big of a season that I think that Freddie Freeman's going to have this season for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
In Laurel, I have the Diamondbacks actually being better than the Giants this year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God, Justin.
That's a bold take right there. That is a bold.
But that's not going to happen, though. The Diamondbacks are still really bad.
Yeah, 0-1 to start the season. 0-2 to start the season.
I wonder if they lost today. But anyways, folks, I hope everybody's having a great day. And it's been a great show. And it's time to play some final thoughts. And we have some announcements for you. So, anyways, folks, I'll tell you this. Batter Up will be on Sunday when it'll be right after ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Should be between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Pacific time, and then we'll go from there. And anyways, Isaiah, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is it was a tremendous show. It was a great opening day for me, anyways. I think for Justin as well and for Laurel because our team opened up today. But it was a great opening day. Lots of tremendous games. A lot of great action. Plus, you had that brawl in
The Mets game, yeah.
with the Mets and the Nationals. Just an explosive night.
That old coach, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. I can't wait for Batter Up. We're going to be talking about the biggest games and the biggest stories from the game of baseball. It's going to be a great, I would say, a first full episode in season because we did our preseason show to debut, and now we're actually going to start talking about the stuff that's happening in the season. It's going to be fun. So join me, join Loro, join our guy Ben Curris. My guy Ian Glenn will be back. As well as some other people will be back as well. But it's going to be great. Prayers up to my guy Mickey Moniak for a speedy recovery. He was supposed to be a big difference maker for the Phillies this year. He changed the swing, had a tremendous spring, changed the swing, and all the work paid dividends. And just to see him go down with that last at bat in spring training, gets hit right on the wrist. It's just brutal. And when I saw it, I was like, why on earth does bad things have to happen to good, hardworking people? But it just sucks for him, and I hope all the best for him. And as far as the Lakers are concerned, Frank Vogel, I expect him to be out following the Lakers season finale on Sunday. I expect the Lakers to make major changes starting Monday morning. So can't wait for that. And, I think LA should take my advice and, go bold, swing for the fences, try to convince Coach K to come out of retirement and coach the Lakers, go all in for next season.
What are your final thoughts, Justin?
My final thoughts is thanks for having me on. And also to the Celtics, they have a big playoff season coming up, and the Red Sox tough loss today in the extra innings, and that was a wild play in the Tigers game. That play, the review took a long time. That review, but he didn't catch it, that was a long review. That was a long review.
That was a long review, that's for sure. But anyways, for Justin Bosman, for the Asian Skip Bayless, Isaiah Leong, producer Wang, Lauro signing off for now. I'll be seeing you all Sunday on Batter Up.